Are we on? We're on. First things first, a good old slurp. I forgot to pick up Rattler, so it's, what is it? Stella. Now let me tell you, boys and girls, this recipe is going to be the cheapest, I think, by a country mile, at least on this channel, the quickest, and also the tastiest pasta dish you're ever going to make. Well, I say tastiest ever, that's subjective, but it's delicious. And it's called lemon butter pasta. Now, me being a clever bollocks, I thought, well, I invented this. I've been eating this for years. Don't know why I've not put it up on the channel before. But I usually make it when I've got late night hunger pangs. I can't be asked to cook something big. I'll make this or something like this. But turns out, no, Adam, you're wrong. It's a real dish. It's from Italy. And it's actually called pasta al limone. Apologies to Italians if I butchered that. But yes, it's a real dish. And it only uses four main ingredients. We're obviously going to add salt and pepper, but that's a given. And I'm going to add some extras in there. You don't have to add those. And a bit of olive oil. But before we dive in, do the usual thing. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. Share this to your friends and family. And crucially, the people that are in need. I know I keep banging on about it, but we need to reach as many people with these cheap, easy recipes. So come on then, let's get on with it. Get your fizzle down here. We'll make this lemon butter pasta. Right, so a quick rundown of our four main ingredients. We've got butter. Now, the eagle-eyed of you are going to spot like, oh, he's got some rather flipping posh stuff here, isn't he? Jersey butter, fancy spaghetti. I know I've got some bougie pasta and some nice fancy butter, but you can make this as cheap or as expensive as you like. I like to treat myself now and again, and my treat is good food. I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't go out partying all night. So this is my treat. And like I've said before, it's important to treat yourself. Even if it's a small thing, like a chocolate bar, magazine, just something. We all need those little mental health little pick-me-ups, okay? But you don't have to go out and buy bougie pasta like this or fancy butter. You don't need to do that. Absolutely, you can make this cheaper. You go to the supermarkets, you pick up their basic ranges, like you can get a pack of spaghetti for like 25, 23p. You can even use this stuff, bottled lemon juice and this butter spread. You can use that. It's not going to be as good, but it's an approximation. So stick within your budget and what you can afford, okay? Well, I can't really afford this, to be honest, but it's my treat. I want it. I've got a nice fresh lemon there. I've got some parmesan. Salt and pepper, that's a given. I think most of you have got salt and pepper in your house. But obviously, if you have to go out and buy some, factor that in. Optional extras, I've got a garlic clove, some chilli flakes, I'm going to add a few of those. You don't need the parsley at all, just leave it out. I'm just going to add a little bit on the top, just for kind of garnish, because it makes the photo kind of pop in the thumbnail. Right, you guys at home don't have to worry about thumbnails and B-roll and all that, but I do. So the parsley's just for like a bit of colour contrast. You don't need it. Now I've got the pan on, I'm going to bring that to a rolling boil, and then we'll add the pasta. Like, this is going to come together super, super quick. It's easy stuff. But yeah, four main ingredients, you got dinner. And whilst the water's coming to the boil, we're going to do our minimal amount of prep. I struggle to say that word sometimes. Minimal. Anyway, I'm going to peel the garlic. Again, this is completely optional. Don't have to add this in, but I just like it. And all I'm going to do is just slice it nice and thinly. There you go. Just in kind of little slithers like that. That's all you need. Next thing I'm going to do is grate some of this lemon zest. Now, I'm only going to do one portion for me. Well, because it's just me, isn't it? I live on my own. Sad face. But if you're making this for 2, 3, 4 people, just scale it up. But for me, I just need about a quarter of this lemon zest. There we go, lemon zest. That is plenty for me. I'm going to get that into a little dish for later. And I want some of the juice of the lemon as well. So I'm going to roll it. This just kind of helps loosen some of the fibres inside and helps you extract more juice. I'm going to cut it lengthways. You can do it the other way if you want. This is just how I do it. And I'm going to squeeze some of that lemon juice into a little dish. And it's entirely subjective as to how much lemon you want. You might want less, you might want more. Just kind of judge it as you go. Perfect timing. We've finished our prep. The water's now boiling for our pasta. I'm going to add a generous amount of salt. A top tip for you when cooking pasta. I've seen this so many times when people, cook pasta on like YouTube and TikTok and what have you. Is they've got this piddly little pan, a little bit of water, and then they've crammed in all this pasta, and it's like the pasta's got no room to move or anything. You need lots of water, a big pan, and get it to a rolling boil. Add a generous amount of salt, and then we're going to add the pasta. Now, obviously, I'm just making this for myself, so I'm going to do one portion. To give you an idea how much you need per person, for one person, or fatso like me, probably about that much, which is about 200 grams. 200 grams per person is plenty. In it goes, in with the pasta. and cook that away following the packet instructions, less about 1 minute. You want the pasta slightly al dente because we're going to finish off cooking it in the pan with all the other bits and pieces. You don't want overcooked pasta in this at all. And I would also suggest use spaghetti or a spaghetti type pasta, linguine, spaghettoni, which is what I'm using, or just normal spaghetti. For some reason this doesn't quite work with other pasta. I don't know, I think it's a textural thing. So make sure you use spaghetti.
75 years later.
Right, so the pasta's on the go. It's not far off now. Probably another few minutes. And the best way to test if the pasta's ready, none of this stupid nonsense of like throwing it against a wall and seeing if it sticks, and if it sticks, it's cooked. No, you don't need to do any of that. Simple way to test if it's done. Eat it. Take a bit out of the pan and taste it. That's how you do it. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil to this pan. If you haven't got olive oil, use vegetable. It's fine. Okay, I just happen to have some. You could use rapeseed oil as well if you want. I can hear the Italians screaming. Then what we're going to do is add our garlic to the oil. Get this onto a lowish heat. You don't want this screaming hot. Because the thing is with this dish is it requires skill. There's not a lot to it and it's easy, but it does require some skill and techniques. But don't worry, I'm holding your hand all the way so you don't f**k up. Don't worry. And what we want to achieve here, let's bring you in a bit closer, is with that garlic, you just want to kind of see a gentle sizzle. God's sake, don't burn it. If you burn this garlic, the whole dish is knackered. You just want a very light colour to it and just a gentle, gentle fizzle. But come back in a second, I'll show you what to look out for. There you go, look. Literally, that took like 30 seconds. That's what you're looking for. A little hint of colour on there. That is all you're looking for. Once it's got to that stage, turn off the heat. Next, I'm going to add a few chilli flakes. So they're going to get nice and fragrant just in that residual heat. Exactly, Marks, exactly. And just as that's done, the pasta's cooked. I'm going to turn that off the heat and add it straight to the pan. Doesn't matter if you get a little bit of pasta water in there, in fact you want that. Don't drain the pasta water because we're going to need some of that to emulsify our sauce. Give that an initial mix up to start with. Now we're going to add our seasonings. Plenty, plenty, plenty of black pepper. Okay? This dish really benefits from plenty of pepper. When you think you've added too much, keep going. Now we're going to add the butter. Add in about a generous knob, I would say. That much, about 10 grams-ish. And that should start to melt in the residual heat. What you don't want to do is for the butter to kind of melt completely where it kind of goes clear, like clarified almost. You want to keep the sort of opaque sort of colour to it. Get that butter melted. I'm going to add a touch more, I think. Another knob. Get it in there. Next, I'm going to add some of the lemon juice. About half of that to start with. You can always add more if you need it. Good old handfuls of parmesan. And look, I will put rough estimates of how much you need in the description, but this is kind of like a wing it recipe. And I add a little bit of the lemon zest as well. Ooh. Mixy mixy. And then I'm going to add some of the pasta water. Okay, this is going to emulsify everything into a sauce. Start off with a little bit, half a ladleful. More shaky shaky. A bit more parmesan. And remember that pasta's going to finish cooking in that sauce, so by the time you're done, it's going to be perfectly cooked. A bit more pasta water. And just keep doing that until you get the desired creaminess that you like. Some like it really saucy, some like it not so saucy. I like a happy medium in between. Mix it all up again, and that is done. It's done. There's your dinner. Should we give it a bash? Lemon butter pasta that Adam thought he invented, but actually exists anyway. Let's go in. It just works, man. It just works. There's quite a lot of butter in there, but that lemon, man, it just brightens everything up. It's not heavy, it's not cloying. It's got a bit of spice from the pepper and the chilli as well. It's just really good. And yes, I use some bougie fancy kind of pasta and some nice butter and stuff. But again, fit it within your budget, what you can afford. If you shop around, get the cheaper stuff. That is chef's kiss, that. It's quite a fancy dish, isn't it, really? Date night on the cheap. And like I said before, the reason why this works is because it's a combination of flavour profiles. Salt, fat and acid. So there we have it, done and dusted. I mean, in real time, that took me like 9 minutes, 9-10 minutes to put that together. Quick as you like, it's cheap as chips, and it's tasty. That's really important. But listen, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna bugger off because this is getting like really cold now because I'm waffling on. If you enjoyed the video, do the usual thing, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And make sure you pass these recipes to the people that are in need, people that are struggling, because we all need recipes like this at the moment. And I'll see your gorgeous faces in the next video. And ta-ta for now. You come in. You can stay there. Oh, you stay there then.